The lives of others. The movie The Lives of Others takes place in East Germany before the Berlin Wall fell. During a time when the government had a lot of control with people's lives, the main purpose of the film is to show how serious surveillance was and how the Stasi basically watched everything people did. They watched your every move, and um, it really shows how living in that kind of system affected people mentally, emotionally, and even their relationship. The film about a Stasi officer named Greg Weisler, who was assigned to spy on a writer named George Dryman and his girlfriend Christina Maria. At first, Weisler is very strict and believes he's doing the right thing by following orders. But he is but as he's listening in on their lives, he starts to feel connected to them and begins to question what he's doing. The movie covers topics like control, privacy, loyalty, and morality. One of the biggest themes is how a person can change and choose to do what's right, even if it goes against the system. Um, from what I have learned in this class, this movie seems very realistic. The Stasis really did expel the people in these ways, using hidden microphones and even getting regular citizens to inform on each other. That connections directly to the reading about how people in East Germany couldn't fully trust anyone, not even their own friends or family. So the film definitely supports what we've been learning and makes it easier to understand on a personal level. The characters each represent different parts of society. So like, I feel like to me personally, these are how the characters are represented. Weisler starts off as someone fully loyal to the government and slowly becomes more human and compassionate. Dryman, on the other hand, represents artists who wanted to express themselves but had to be careful. Christina Maria shows how people could be pressured or controlled by those in power, especially since she was being taken advantage of by government officials. Then you have the characters like Grubbers who care more about moving up in their career than doing right. Wisely development is the most important because you actually see him change from cold and emotionless to someone who risks everything to protect others. To me, the film also critiques the government and shows how damaging the system was. This is the big topic in the world right now with everything that's going on with the gas prices and everything. It highlights the tension between control and freedom and how people are constantly living in fear, even though it's based on a specific time. The message still feels relevant today because it is really about power, surveillance, and human choices. Um, Personally, to me, what stood out the most was how Weisler changed at the end. The scene where he listened to the piano, for the good man, was really powerful because you can tell this is when something shifts for him. To me, in the movie, you can see this is where like he grows and he gets better. Everything shifts for him, so it was like a wow moment. That's why I think the movie could definitely be called the Santana of the Good Man because it is really about his transformation. Um, at the end of the film, when Whistler says that he's still on the right side, I think the changes meaning at first the right side meant following the government, but by the end it means doing what is morality right. After the Berlin Walls falls, his life is so much simpler, and he loses his power, but he seems more peace with himself. To me, at the end, I feel like once he lost his power and things like that, he started getting more peace with himself, and everything started to become easier. Things just started to move. So I don't think he would regret re- reunion crashing because it gave him a chance to live honestly instead of being part of the system that controlled or hurt people. Overall, to me personally, I think the film was very powerful and emotional. It does a great job of showing political side of things and the human side of East Germany. And it makes you really think about what you do in the situation. Even though we don't get in these situations a lot, it had me thinking like, what would I do, or what would I do if I was in his shoes in this situation? So I really hope you enjoy my video. Thanks.